Up next on The Big Room.
Let's talk about the Welcome to Jurassic Park scene because it's sick. I like it for a couple reasons. I really like the slow realization from every single character in the Jeep that there's brachiosauruses over there.
Yeah.
I think it's great. I like how Ellie is obsessed with a leaf that's been extinct for tens of thousands of years, and then he grabs her head and turns it. The big music swell for the theme is brilliant. And crucially, for the first 40 minutes, we only see herbivores. Welcome back to the big room. Ladies and gentlemen, we watched Jurassic Park. I'm so excited to talk about it. This is a good movie. I forget when it came out.
93.
93?
Yeah.
It's my birth year.
Older than
wow.
me.
Wow.
So wait a minute. This came out before Independence Day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because Independence Day was 96. Okay, so you mentioned this last night. We watched this movie last night because we're procrastinators. And you said something that like Jeff Goldblum was more Jeff Goldblum in this movie than Independence Day.
He had more of his little quirky,
He was weird.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was
That
like...
laugh on the helicopter
Yeah.
was bananas. That was the craziest thing. Like, what a character introduction. Like, what was that laugh?
And then
it like lingered.
He immediately goes from being the weirdest guy to being the sole voice of reason for the whole like table scene. And then the scientists come around with him, but he's like the main guy. But we're getting a
Maybe
little bit ahead of
choice,
ourselves.
like kind of make him seem crazy. So like the reason doesn't stand out as much.
June, I think.
So you
So
were
right at 31.
wow, 31 years old. Jurassic Park is hasn't aged today. It looks great.
I was 3 months old.
It really does.
It speaks to practical
baby Nick.
effects and having big old animatronic dinosaurs and
Yep.
Steven Spielberg's genius. And it's a shame he's literally incapable of making a good movie now.
It's okay. He had a
what has
Yeah,
he
this
made
time-
recently?
Bunch of garbage.
That's what I was
What was
trying to
that?
think.
What was that newspaper movie he made like 10 years ago?
newspaper movie?
Newspaper.
With Tom Hanks,
Yes.
Meryl Streep.
That's a good
Yes.
sign that we all go.
Yeah.
Oh, a man named
No.
I know what
That
you're
was-
Tom Hanks in newspaper. That was a good guess.
Nick, 10 years ago was the key
Oh,
thing
yeah.
there. So
He
who
did-
cares?
It does. Yeah.
The
we
Post?
don't know. Yeah.
The
I've
Post.
never heard of that in my life.
Harmon hated that movie because it's bad writing.
I'm assuming it's the
Oh,
Post.
he did.
I could be wrong.
I'm not going to watch it.
Let us know in the comments below.
Who cares? Cut all this out. Now,
Ready Player One.
what I do love...
I like that one.
What I do love is the marriage of Steven Spielberg and John Williams.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Oh,
Match made in heaven.
Classic.
when that theme hits in this movie, and it's just, I feel the same. I get the same little feelies in my little chesty parts that I get when like the Indiana Jones theme hits during Raiders of the Lost Ark, or like
Alright.
the Harry Potter.
I thought you were gonna say Star Wars.
So do we want to talk about this now? Sure. Let's talk about the soundtrack right off the rip, and then we'll get into the movie stuff.
Well, it's
Because
worth talking about because I'm notoriously the person that doesn't pick up on the soundtrack or acknowledge it,
So that's kind
and
of
I loved the music in this.
that's kind of my thing. Oh, interesting. So I wrote down last night when the movie ended. I said, soundtrack wise, I'm reading here. I feel like Jurassic Park really only has the main theme as far as A, memorable, and B, like whistleable, hummable music pieces from this movie goes. I feel the same with Indiana Jones and Harry Potter. Now, John Williams did not write all of the music for Harry Potter, but he wrote the main theme. The only thing I can think of. I said, maybe I'm full of shit, and I only recognize multiple pieces of, like, say, the Star Wars soundtracks he did because I've seen them all hundreds of times. But you made the
True.
point that the soundtrack is used more, like, for example, Leia's theme. We have a motif for a character, and then we bring that back multiple times. Darth Vader, we have the Imperial March, and we bring that back multiple times. We have the Duel of the Fates music, which is used for that epic battle piece, and we spend 20 minutes going through that piece of music. And then in Jurassic Park, it's like, I guess more of the main characters in Jurassic Park are the dinosaurs, and with them comes a lot of tense, scary music, and tense, scary music isn't whistleable or hummable.
No.
But they make up for it.
I mean,
I
the
mean, it
main
was-
theme is
With the main
brilliant,
theme, yeah.
brilliant. And this is not a critique.
And that recurred a couple times too.
right. And with
I like
changes.
two main themes.
But I guess what I'm maybe the way I'm thinking of it is like the music in the pieces of music in Star Wars are characters in and of themselves.
Yeah.
And in this movie and in the others I mentioned, there is a theme. Now Star Wars has a theme,
Yeah,
but you
it's
only
more
hear
environmental
it,
here.
right? And Star Wars' theme you
More
only hear during the
personal.
opening crawl, which you only get at the beginning. Everybody knows it, but we also all know the Imperial March. We also all know Leia's theme and Padme's theme and Duel of the Fates, maybe the most famous piece of music that Star Wars has outside of the original theme. And not a knock. It's just interesting to
Have
me.
you seen any of the other Jurassic Park movies?
I have seen.
So I wonder if that, because there's a lot of Star Wars to draw from there.
I've seen all three Jurassic Park films, although 2 and 3 I have only seen once each. I saw them on the same day, and it was more than 15 years ago. So I remember almost nothing. I have seen Jurassic World, and I went, it was okay. And I haven't seen any of the other Jurassic World films, and we looked up all of the IMDb scores for all of the movies last night. It's Jurassic Park is like
Just
number
like straight
one
decline.
at like a 93%. Then it's Jurassic World at like a 78%, and then it is a cliff dive. You have Lost World, Jurassic Park, which is the second film.
Yeah.
It has like a 40-something or something like that. Then it's Jurassic Park 3, which sucks. I'm pretty sure raptors speak English in it for some reason. No. And then like the last two Jurassic World movies are in like the 20s. Like those are trash. And I haven't seen them. I can't speak to them.
I watched this movie for the first time like 4 or 5 years ago with probably longer than
Least
that.
surprising thing I've ever heard.
With I don't know.
That's kind of why we do the show.
Yeah, that's the whole point. I watched it with my brother and loved it. And then like a couple nights later I was like,
remember
let's
this.
watch the second one. And we got like 30 minutes into it and both looked at each other and went, this sucks. Let's turn it off.
The third one's worse.
And yeah,
It's like
so
a
I've only
T-Rex
seen, like,
loose in
20
the
minutes
city
of
or
the second.
something.
I don't even remember.
remember.
I was so
I
uninterested.
saw some clips because I was watching like reviews and just miscellaneous videos about Jurassic Park because I had never seen it before, and I like
there a
saw
movie
a
theater
clip of a
scene or
T-Rex
something?
like knocking a bus over with its head, and I was like, what? Like it's such a huge departure from this like masterpiece of a movie to like go that route. Seems like such a weird choice.
I mean, how do you do
but-
something different from this without doing the
Yeah.
same thing? There's not really.
I mean, isn't that what all the
You're,
sequels
you're
are?
kind
though?
of in a corner. Yeah,
Well,
but it's harder to expand on this plausibly than it is, when you're in a fantasy
Yeah.
world or
Because
something.
of the park setting
Yeah.
and the way it ends.
It is kind of a
kind
bottle
of like
episode.
Westworld. Where it was
Well,
like, oh, it's
they
the
just
same thing
canceled it, yeah.
over and over and over.
Yeah.
Did you know that the writer of Westworld wrote Jurassic Park?
No.
Yeah, the creator wrote both.
Did
'Cause
you
it
know
was
he
a-
was 6'9"?
Really?
The guy,
tough.
I was watching a documentary and like Steven Spielberg. What's the guy's name? The writer?
Oh, shit.
It's like
I don't
Mike
know.
something.
Michael.
the guy who wrote the book.
Cretan?
Something like
Cre-
he's got a hard last name, but he was
Michael
sitting next
something.
to Steven Spielberg, and I was like, "Oh my God, is Steven Spielberg like 4 foot tall?" No, he's the other
That
guy's
guy's
like 7 foot
huge.
tall. It was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's let me find this guy. Michael Crichton.
Crichton.
Or Crichton, but he's got a
Crichton?
So
That's
the
close.
Whatever. Michael Crichton, but I think the CH is silent in the middle of his name according to the pronunciation guide on Wikipedia. 1942 to 2008, he died at 66 years old.
That's young.
He let's see what else he wrote. So he wrote The Andromeda Strain. He wrote Jurassic Park, the book, and then Lost World. So the sequel is based on the book, probably somewhat. He wrote Prey. He was involved in the television and film industry. In 1973, he wrote and directed Westworld, the first Westworld, not the HBO one. The HBO one is
Right.
based on the 73 Westworld. He also, hilariously, was the creator of the television series ER.
Wow.
Departure. Westworld and Jurassic Park, kind of the same thing. Ish. They're inspired by like.
He really commits to it.
Which
setting
came
then.
first? Do you know?
No.
Because it's very, it's fine. It's a very similar concept.
Yeah.
I had thought that
It looks like Westworld came first. He wrote the book Jurassic Park in 1990.
Huh.
And I believe that Spielberg read it while Crichton was pitching ER. And Spielberg's like, we got to make the dinosaur movie. So go ahead.
No, I was just saying I had made the connection of like this is kind of like Westworld, And then some reviews I was watching on the movie were talking about it, but I didn't realize it was the same person.
Yeah, so he did Westworld first and then did Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park was also originally written from a kid's point of view. The book that is. And then everybody that he gave like the draft to was like, don't do a kid's point of view. They were like, it's better if you just don't do that. So I haven't read the book. I know literally nothing about it. I've only seen the films, so I can't speak much more than that. But that was a fun dive to do. I forgot about the Westworld thing until you brought it up. But have you seen the 70s one or just the,
no, just the new one?
The HBO one that you literally cannot watch anymore.
You can buy it.
You can buy
can't stream it,
but they ripped it off of streaming for a tax cut, probably.
I only watched the first season of that.
So at the beginning, we lose Joffrey, R.I.P. Our boy Joffrey, who opens the shipping container thing and gets
That was
immediately-
hilarious that they have that kind of tech, and to open it, you still have to get a dude to climb up
Yeah.
on top and pull
Yeah.
the door.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a little ridiculous, but I mean, yeah, that can't be like OSHA standard or whatever.
And that the raptor waited to pull him in instead of just trying to escape.
Hammond's like,
like-
I spared
we
no
get
expense
that
except
that
for
Wish.com Crocodile Dundee.
Yeah.
That guy has got to have a dark past. I'm guessing
yeah.
ex-military or something,
Yeah.
and he went to the private sector. But I want to see like an origin movie for him.
He does have one of my favorite lines in the film, but I don't want
one?
to talk about that yet.
Okay.
We'll get there. So Joffrey croaks, the spared no expense line. Pretty hilarious when you spared. The one expense he did spare was in his dinosaur dog crate door technology, which had to be opened by a man.
And in
Was
his
it a $20 million
security system.
lawsuit?
Yeah, his securities.
Yeah, he skimped on the
Yeah.
security guy.
And on paying Newman.
Newman.
I can't remember his actual name.
I have it written down.
He's just Newman.
Dennis something.
Wayne Knight.
Wayne Knight.
It's man.
Oh, they meant the character
That
name.
guy.
That too, I can't
Force
remember.
in the 90s.
Yeah.
Wayne Knight.
I
was.
only know him from Seinfeld.
Seinfeld, Toy Story 2, Space Jam. He did a
Oh,
voice
yeah,
in
Toy Story.
Tarzan.
Who was the entire? Wait, he was the elephant.
Yeah.
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 So I
can't
mean,
remember the elephant's
and
name.
then like, you did. Has he just disappeared for 30 years?
He got his bag and he's,
Probably
like, I'm
got
out.
his bag.
Got killed by that dinosaur.
Once you get,
Yeah.
once you have the
He's got Seinfeld
Seinfeld, Pixar, Spielberg money,
Yeah.
You're just like, yeah, I'm
That's
good.
the trifecta. That's the Hollywood trifecta.
it's a hell of a thing. So yeah, he was a legend. Can we talk about the introduction to Hey Dogs, please? I'll put you in a raptor cage.
Raptor bee.
Feed you to a spitting lizard.
No.
When we're introduced to Dr. Grant and Dr. Emmy, is that her name? Crap. Ellie. Sorry.
Ellie.
I have it written
Ellie
down.
Sattler.
Dr. Grant, Dr. Ellie. When we're introduced to them, they're doing their digs. Blah blah blah. Helicopter comes, and then Hammond teleports into their trailer. He gets there really fast, but not even that. It's when they're kind of setting up that Dr. Grant hates kids because the circle we have and one of the learning lessons that we have is Dr. Grant's softening up towards children. Him and Ellie are a thing. Ellie wants kids, and he hates kids. And I'm like, yeah, I hate kids too. I think they're terrible. I don't
Which
get it.
Apparently is opposite from the book.
Really?
He's a kid opposite in the book.
Lover.
Yeah, I almost said kid lover, and I couldn't recover.
I like that you stopped.
What
them.
was that kid doing there? Why
So-
was he at the dig site? Like,
It seemed like it was somewhat of a tour
field
because
trip
there were
of one?
there were a bunch of people around, and I just didn't assume that they were all. Are they paleontologists? Is that what Ross Geller is?
Yeah.
Okay. All paleontologists, dinosaur archaeologists. She's a paleontologist.
paleobotanist.
Paleobotanist. Ooh, that's fun. What are you drinking? I have a squirrel.
Last
brain.
word. Paper plane.
A paper plane. The perfect
Yep.
cocktail. I'm drinking a
is.
Miller Lite from a can.
The perfect beer.
I mean, it's perfect beer for me. So I don't feel like the kid. He's annoying. All kids are annoying.
Yeah.
But
it just serves as
especially
a starting point for character development.
I don't
as
know
a
where
comparison.
I don't know where you're going, but I don't think that the reaction to dinosaurs are birds, so they're just giant turkeys warrants being basically threatened to be disemboweled with a raptor claw.
He's bad with
No.
kids.
That's crazy work.
he's just passionate about the kid understanding the dinosaur.
I don't know. I think he's
And also,
defending
I guess
the
it
dinosaur.
sets the foundation for the respect or the reverence that he
Yeah,
has
yeah,
for these
yeah.
animals too.
It sets
So-
up a great. Everything that scene sets up is perfect. I mean, it lays the ground for the kid hatred and that
Yeah, it's
that
just an
redemption.
extreme-
It lays the ground for the deep, like intimate understanding of dinosaurs that Dr. Grant has. But like using the raptor claw and like slashing, like miming slashing
That's
the
pretty
kid's
good.
guts is a bit much. Like perhaps go, where are your parents? Like
I expected the parent in the audience to be like, that's enough, Dr. Grant. Like, I'll take it from here.
and Ellie doesn't really reprimand him. She's
She
just
just
like,
kind of, she like laughs it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were you gonna
Like,
say?
oh, hey.
I don't remember. I was just gonna do a bit. It's fine.
I will lay awake tonight wondering what that bit
It'll come to me
could have
eventually.
possibly been. I love Hammond's character, John Hammond, the played by Richard Attenborough.
Related
way,
to the other Attenborough?
I
Or
will
no?
now
Bro-
talk about that
Got it,
because you
brother
said
too.
that.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Richard Attenborough plays John Hammond. He's an incredible character and an incredible person in real life. So he served in the Second World War. He was in the Royal Air Force's film unit, so he helped make training videos, propaganda videos, and the like. He had a prolific acting career, appearing in over 21 films, and he is the older brother to David Attenborough, who has been the host of nature documentaries for the BBC and otherwise for 8 decades.
Wow.
And a conservationist voice. He's big in the science community. David Attenborough is a legend. Richard Attenborough is
thought-
also a legend, and
I thought
most
David was British. and
they are
then-
both British.
I thought he
Really?
was he's just Scottish in this movie?
I think so.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Check me on that.
Forget that people
internet,
can
but-
change their accents.
Yeah. Most importantly, though, Richard Attenborough and I share a birthday.
Yeah,
Both on
Nice.
August 29th.
Wow.
nice.
Oh, only apart by like 70 years.
Basically
So close.
twins.
But yeah, man, he's a legend. I forgot. I like recognized his face and was like, I feel like he's really important. And then I saw Attenborough and I was like, oh yeah. And then the whole Attenborough family is like kind of a crazy.
Yeah, with a last name like that, it's a lot to live up to.
They're all like
Such a
super.
good name.
Their dad was super famous for something or another too. Like they're like in the science or professory realm, smart people. They're all smart. Smarter than me because I can't. I said professory people. And
Hammond.
plantologist earlier. I didn't go
That
to
was
college.
that sounds real.
We were able to connect those
that
dots.
one was good.
Hey, you know, we have at least half of us went to school. And then there's me and Nick. We're just like,
Losers.
we've never seen the other part. We had though. We were the two that had.
Hammond was almost played by Sean Connery.
I don't know if I would like that as much.
Yeah.
Be a much. I would. View
I
him
liked-
as more.
You would feel not sleazier, but more like
Smugger.
schmoozy. Yeah.
Sophisticated.
I don't know.
Not-
I
There's
don't
an
know if that's the right
earnestness
word.
that
Hammond was so
Attenborough
like
does.
genuine. Yeah. Like he really wanted it to be.
There wouldn't be a gentle side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There would be
Because
more of a
he's
hard
kind
ass.
of the villain, other than Newman. You could argue, but he's played as more of a tragic character.
Yeah, I don't think he's a villain. I think he is caught up in his own hubris.
Yeah,
And then
that's what I mean to say. They don't
has-
demonize him in the movie. You kind of relate to him a little bit.
And he comes around right at the not
root for
really
him
right
even.
at the end, but really once his grandkids are like not anywhere to be found, he's like, all right, this is really
Yeah.
And then when Sam Jackson's character, whose name is somewhere in my notes, dies, it's like, all right, now this is getting really personal. Because before you had the scapegoat of Newman's character. Jesus Christ, what is his name?
Dennis something.
Great podcast, perfect show, no complaints, nothing wrong
Tedry?
about it.
Hedry?
No,
Ooh,
it's like
Nedry.
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 It's,
Nedry.
it's nerdy with
We
the
got
two
it.
letters flipped.
Like Ned's Declassified.
Schools
I
are
heard
wrong
a
with that.
fact about him. His wardrobe throughout the movie is like different outfits from the Goonies.
Oh.
What?
I don't know the Goonies enough to know that, but I saw it in a.
Great movie.
Have you seen
video.
the Goonies?
I have, but I didn't recognize the outfits.
You know, I've only made it halfway through because it terrified me as a kid. You should probably watch the Goonies.
I remember
should.
being obsessed with it.
But all I know
It's one
about
of the
that we were
greats.
too scared to watch that we need to watch now.
all I
Like,
know
just
about the Goonies
Get the closure.
in adulthood is that Dan Harmon is adamant it doesn't hold up. So I'm scared to watch it because maybe we won't watch it for the show because I don't want to get flamed on the internet anymore.
I remember after watching that, me and my sister would play Barbies, like storylines from the Goonies, like
Yeah.
with our Barbies, because they go through like
Nice.
caves and stuff, and they have to jump
Cave
off,
scenes what scared
jump off of things, you know. So our Barbies were
me. Is the
like-
one guy threatening to
Yeah.
cut the kid's tongue out? And that was too much for a little 6-year-old
too much
me.
for you?
Bummed me out. I also had night terrors for years because of the book Where the Red Fern Grows. Like full on screaming, waking up, cold sweat. Like
Dang.
I would wake up to just my light being on and my mom standing over me. And I was like, what's happening? And it was from night terrors. They stopped when I was like 13 or 14, I think. I want to talk about one line that I thought was very funny. When John Hammond, Dr. Grant, and Dr. Ellie are in their trailer, and he's trying to convince them to come see Jurassic Park and sign off on it because is it the insurance company needs the signatures of 2 experts in the field, so they bring.
But doesn't tell them that there's real life dinosaurs.
Gives them no information
because we wouldn't have the cool head
It's
turn
right up your
scene
alley.
in the Jeep if
That
they had
was
told
good.
them, and that's worth the payoff. And it's. I mean, if you tell somebody I have real living dinosaurs, they're going to go,
Yeah.
crazy man trying to get me to go in a helicopter with him. I don't friggin' think so. So it's better to show, not tell, I think, in that situation. Like, I buy that.
fair.
I don't have a problem with that part of the movie. What
I
I
did
love
wonder what they talked about on the whole helicopter ride, though.
for hours.
Like, come on, John, tell us where we're going. No, you'll see. It's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like,
I liked that when John Hammond is pitching it, it's before he offers to pay for their dig site for 3 years. He says, and there's no doubt our attractions will drive kids out of their minds. And Dr. Grant goes, what are those? And Ellie goes, small versions of adults. I love that line. It's very
Just
funny.
pushing it home that he doesn't like or understand kids.
And then, I can compensate you by fully funding your gig for another 3 years. And I was like, oh, he rich.
They're like, all right, when we leaving?
He rich.
Dr. Grant also doesn't understand how to put a seatbelt on. I was like, you are a scientist, and this man cannot buckle a seatbelt?
I like his little
Wild.
nod he does at the end. Though.
Yeah. But just clip
This
it.
works.
He's using like.
Also, don't wear a seatbelt in a helicopter.
Do you wear them in planes?
I don't think you should. What's it gonna do?
It would, like, in the event of turbulence, it prevents you from becoming a projectile, is what it does.
When has
There was just, yesterday, I just read
I
an
should
article.
stop talking.
I just read an article about a man who was walking down a plane aisle, turbulence hit, he went straight up and ended up in the baggage compartments.
That's fun.
oh.
I don't think smashing through a plane fuselage ceiling with your face sounds particularly fun.
Wait, he went through the roof and over.
And then over into the
Yeah,
luggage
okay,
compartments.
well,
Yeah, he was bummed
that's
out.
rough.
Another grown ass man. Like,
But,
this,
like,
this
if-
guy weighs like 250.
If I lifted up and then just went back down the aisle,
Just-
that would be fun.
You land and you're like, say it again. like the zero gravity training thing. You're like, yeah. No, this guy has
Okay.
injuries.
Well-
That's why you wear
Damage.
the seatbelts. It's not for like if we go down and blow up on a mountain, at least you were buckled.
We'll keep you in your seat so we can identify you.
That's the other reason.
That's real?
I think
That's
it's
probably
because they
real.
keep you in your seat so that you're easy to adapt. Which is, I think, one of the reasons why they get so pissed off when like flights are half empty and you just move around. Because then they're like, now I got to get your dental records when you're done. When you're dead. Malcolm is way more Jeff Goldblum than David Levinson in Independence Day. So delightfully eccentric. I wrote down, but we already talked about that. Oh, okay. Let's talk about the Welcome to Jurassic Park scene because it's sick. I like it for a couple reasons. I really like the slow realization from every single character in the Jeep
Yes.
that there's brachiosauruses over there.
Yeah.
I think it's great. I like how Ellie is obsessed with a leaf that's been extinct for tens of thousands of years, and then he grabs her head and turns it. The big music swell for the theme is brilliant. And crucially, for the first 40 minutes, we only see herbivores.
Yeah.
We don't see any carnivorous dinosaurs, save the baby raptors, because they point us out. They use so one of the things I wrote down too is that it's 40 plus minutes of information they give us, which I think is cool because it's not boring, but it's paced quite well. Exposition is the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
They give us 40 minutes of exposition, and it's pretty entertaining. They set up many storylines in it. We get the archaeology backgrounds. We get the reason that we're bringing smart people to Jurassic Park. We get all the dinosaurs are female because we control it, and then the life finds a way.
Yeah.
Quote, we get the Hammond wants to be there when every dinosaur is born so that he impresses himself upon them. I have no idea if that's true. They're controlling dinosaur genders in the eggs based on temperature, which is something that alligator farmers do with alligators in real life.
Really?
Yep. And I really enjoyed all of that. And I don't know about you guys. I wasn't bored.
No. Not at all.
I actually liked the first like half of the movie more than the last half.
Yes.
I'm the same too.
As
Like
soon-
I like the build up. I like getting the team together. I like kind of learning about everything. Like, and then after that, like shit just kind of hits the fan, and I'm like, okay, that's fun too. But like for some reason, just like the mystery of like what is this island and like getting there, like that journey is more fun for me.
I feel like that with Fellowship of the Ring too. I like
Yeah.
being in Hobbiton. I like the setup, and then when it gets dark, I'm like,
Well, I mean, it's a very it's a captivating plot. Like a dinosaur land come to life. Like seeing that unveiled is
And
It-
thoughtfully done. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, the concept though makes me angry because it's so. I would never go. I would never do this. I feel like it's death.
Concept of the park.
Yeah, like the concept of dinosaur theme park. It sounds great in theory, but in execution, I'm like,
if you're
how do
putting
you?
me.
all right, let's freeze. Why? Why
That's
wouldn't you go?
terrifying. My anxiety. I would be like, there's no way. Like, even I try to imagine a world where Jurassic Park, like the movie, doesn't exist, but a Jurassic Park theme park does exist.
I like that.
I still don't think I would go because, like, what if I'm on an island and something does happen? It's the same thing. Like, would I go to space? No, I wouldn't go to
What if it
space. I
wasn't
wouldn't
on
go
an
to a
island?
dinosaur
Can
island.
can I prose another
Sure.
analog? Is it like a heightened version of I'm afraid this gorilla's gonna get out of this thing? Or for me, one of my irrational fears as a kid was I was always scared aquarium glass was gonna break and like sharks were gonna ride tidal waves and eat my ass. Is it kind of like that thing? Like it's not the animals themselves, but it's the knowledge of what they're capable of and the distrust of the safety systems keeping them in
Yes.
place.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so it's like, what if Harambe happened, but it was a T-Rex, and that's
Yeah.
enough to like make you.
I would not go. Nope.
Carl, would you go?
I don't think I would. Probably for the same reasons, because I don't even want to get on a plane anymore. Because I'm like, what if
Okay,
there's turbulence?
but let's say it's like it's not on an island. Let's say it's in Tampa, and we're here. It's 90 minutes away,
Yeah.
and tickets are $100. Would you go?
Then I think I would go with a group. Yeah.
I think so.
I am sprinting there. I could not go fast enough.
If
But-
there were
The safety
The island
stuff.
thing is
Like, don't
I
put
don't
me-
know.
everybody talk at once.
Don't put me in a Ford Explorer out in the middle.
Okay. Yes, of course.
Like don't make it a car. Make it a really thick something.
I think the problem with that and the reason they did the car thing is it's like the safari part of Animal Kingdom and Lowry Park Zoo,
Right.
where like
And Ford
the
paid a bunch of money.
The elephant thing is enormous. Dinosaurs are huge, so you
gotta have
can't. It's not
space.
walkable
Yeah.
because you're holding 6 brachiosauruses that are like a million billion feet tall and weigh hundreds of tons. I don't know anything about dinosaurs, but what I know about them is as a kid I was obsessed with them. So for I would be one of the suckers in Jurassic World that gets swooped up by one of the flying things.
Now, I
because-
would go if it was only like herbivores. If there were no like man-eating scary
That's-
dinosaurs,
that's a good point.
That would be different.
But the lions are so much more exciting than the elephants.
But I love looking at an otter.
Yeah,
Like if I'm staring at animals at the zoo, I don't care. I'll look at all of them.
that's the otter.
The lions
version
are
of a
honestly
dinosaur.
boring because they just sit there because they're cats and they sleep.
Well, yeah, but sometimes
That's
they,
true.
they-
So every so often you'll get a roar and that's awesome. But like,
But no, it's not awesome because you want the MGM roar, but that was a tiger. Lions don't sound like
yeah, they don't sound like that.
that. Tigers sound. So I'm the only one who would readily go.
I'd probably go.
You would probably
No.
go.
Like I did the thing
I'm
at is it Busch Gardens where you can stick your head through the glass in the lion.
Oh, I've
cage.
only done that with penguins.
I did that, and there's like a lion like right here,
That's
and
kind of
just
neat. But then
4
you're
inches
bummed
of
out
glass.
because the glass is all scratchy,
Yeah.
hazy,
Cloudy.
Sucks.
Ooh.
Sucks. So we're like 2 for 2. We're split on going. I'd be killed. I would love it, but I love dinosaurs.
I
as a
think
kid.
I would have to see some of the literature on the park to be like, do I trust this place? Like I can't, like hypothetically it's interesting, but yeah, I'd have to
You know what they need?
do some research.
I finally figured out the actual use case. The reason the Cybertrucks should exist. That's
Stop
the car.
talking. Stop
That's
talking.
the car you take out.
No, the car.
It gives you the perfect view.
Yes, the car that can't go through a car wash is the car that we should take to see done. The car where the windshield just occasionally shatters
Oh,
on its
well,
own.
I don't like that.
Yeah, I would rather actually walk nude through a T-Rex exhibit than be inside a truck. That's how much I don't want to be in the Wank Panzer.
Oh,
Is that
God.
bad?
Pink Panzer.
I hate everything that truck stands for, and I would hit Elon Musk in the teeth with a bat given the opportunity. I'd take the jail time. Malcolm has all my favorite lines in the movie for the most part. I think one of the early ones is he's speaking of the dinosaur reactions at the very beginning. His is it's a dinosaur. You did it, you crazy son of a bitch. You did it. I love that.
I've seen that meme before I saw this movie, and they do a different face. They do the smiley face reaction, and I was like, "Oh, that gives it a totally different impression." Like the actual, his like face is not. It's very.
What
concerned.
about if Pirates of the Caribbean breaks down? The pirates don't just eat the guests.
You're jumping ahead of me a little bit.
Ugh.
A little bit. Another quote I want to have is how they reveal they have the carnivores too. Grant asks, "How fast are they?" Because obviously he's only read about them. They don't know anything. And then Hammond goes, "We
do
clocked
travel in
the
herds."
T-Rex at 32 miles an hour," and they both go, "T-Rex? You have a T-Rex?" It's the best.
They're children.
Say again.
Like
You
they're.
wouldn't be?
No, I love that.
Yeah.
Like they're approached all this like they're just as giddy as a child who sees a dinosaur.
Yeah, you're watching and one of the boring ones. You're watching a 4-story tall herbivore go "Moo," and eat
Yeah.
leaves, and they're like, "Ah!" and that's
I mean,
how I'd
yeah,
be.
that's awesome.
It's amazing.
That's pretty good.
Now,
I wonder if
Eat
that's what
me.
the author was going for that kind of wonder, and that's why he was trying to do the eyes of a child.
I wanna-
But just the better direction was to do
maybe.
that innocence through the adults.
I want to read it. It'd be interesting to read it because it's so visual in the movie. Everything about it. How is it described?
Yeah.
How did he paint that picture with words? I feel like that'd be really, really interesting to read.
The dinosaurs with the long necks.
Yeah, they ate the leaves. Everyone said, "Wow!" Like, no, I bet it was great.
You should have been there. Oh, I wish you could see it.
You should be in my head right now as I'm writing this. I want to talk about the cars a little bit. There's Jeeps and there's Ford Explorers, but crucially, in a very 90s way, they've painted wheels. I love it. I love it. Jeeps have the red wheels and the Explorers have the yellow. I hate Jeeps. I hate them. I hate them to death. They're built with chopsticks and held together with chewing gum. They're the least safe things in the world, and they cost $20,000 more than they should, and they'll break down all the time.
But they look so cool.
No, they don't. But
They do.
These
They do.
ones do. These ones do. Don't buy a Jeep. Spend your money on literally any other car. Now, the reason I stopped you about the Disney thing is obviously we have several references to big theme parks in the movie. We have that scene you were talking about. We have the scene where Sam Jackson's character, whose name once again is down further in my list, he talks about how when all the systems go down because Nedry broke everything, he talks about, "I have all the problems of a major theme park and a major zoo." So it's just everything is exacerbated because of the unprecedented thing we're trying to make here. But one of the positive parts of it was the cloning presentation at the very beginning, where they're all strapped into the thing, and like the dinosaur version of Carousel of Progress. And I really liked that. It's very like Disney attraction of like the 90s, like
It's very Star Tours.
to us, decades past. Yeah,
Or
exactly.
Ellen's Energy Adventure. If anybody remembers that, David
I
remembers.
don't. And then
Does John plan to be on every tour?
I think so, because he perhaps not, because he first of all, he forgets he has lines during the presentation, but with the finger prick and everything, I think anybody could have done that, but I don't specifically remember
Well,
if
I thought the
if
video was saying
television
John
had-
too.
Okay, if that's the
Yeah.
case, then I
He's
guess
like,
so.
oh hey John, because he's like, how did I get here? I'm cloned you, and it's like, so you're
right,
gonna
so
be
yes.
at every single tour, and you're gonna be at the birth of like every dinosaur. Like your schedule is just gonna be running back and forth.
I think
Maybe
that,
they did it with multiple people.
Well, I think that plays into John's hubris in the movie.
Maybe he'll get an autoerotic version of himself, animatronic.
That was one of my Donald Gennaro, the lawyer, says, "This is overwhelming, John. Are these characters autoerotic?"
It's in the way that you use it.
So you and I caught the joke.
I did not
I
catch
did
it.
not
I was just
hear
like,
that.
what? I didn't get that it was supposed to be animatronic. He was trying to say animatronic.
Autoerotica is 10 out of 10.
I was just like,
That's
is he-
I think I just heard animatronic.
What I like
Like-
what I like too about that presentation is particularly the mosquito blood explanation
was
for
really
how
clever.
they did the cloning. And why I think it's cool is the way that they present it in this pseudo Disney attraction way is very it makes you buy the science. At least personally, it makes me buy the science with no regard or cares for real life viability of said science. I don't care. I just like they explain it in a way that even me, who tends to be a little nitpicky, goes, "Yep, sure.
That makes
I'm
sense.
buying whatever's for sale there because you did the care and took the time to present it in a way where it's like, yeah." And crucially, they did it before everything went wrong instead of in the middle of the chaos being like, well, we took the mosquito blood and blah, blah, blah. That's the stuff that pisses me off. Do the exposition on the front end.
The VR headset that he had that was just a dentist visor.
Yeah, that was-
hilarious.
Is it heavy? Then it's expensive. Put it away.
Oh, man.
Malcolm, how do you know they can't breed in the wild? Henry says all the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park are female. And then Malcolm says the kind of engineering you're doing is not possible. And I wrote a note. I thought you could determine the temperature of alligators, the sex of alligators based on temperature. Maybe I'm wrong there. I feel like I've heard that mentioned by alligator farmers. And I feel like I would know because we're in Florida where there's alligators and alligator farmers. But I guess I did not. I guess I did not consider that life finds a way. So pretty cool. Feeding a dinosaur a whole ass cow is wild. But I do like
Made me sad.
It's probably enriching for the dinosaurs. They get a hunt kind of thing.
Well,
It's-
I don't care
it's-
about the dinosaurs. I care about the cow.
The goat was a little more sad for me for some reason.
You cracked me up because I had my head in my notes writing, and the closed caption for the cow was "mooing in fear,"
It killed me.
which should be the title of the episode.
Mooing in
Mooing
fear.
in
"Mooing in fear."
For whatever reason, that cow reminded me of Elfie.
Oh no,
because she's fat.
No, I don't know. Just
Elfie, you
sometimes.
mooing in fear.
Sometimes I look at animals and they give the same energy as my dogs. That cow gave me Elfie energy. Later on,
How?
the squeaky.
It was just suspended
can't-
in air.
Nick,
You can't
listen,
explain it. It's just is.
She's said this for years, and I don't. She'll look at a bird and go, "It's Phoebe," and I'm like, "That's a pigeon."
Sometimes Cameron will do it, and I'm like, no, that's not Phoebe.
I don't even know because I don't get it. So I'll just see like a lizard. And I'm
You're
like,
embarrassing yourself. Stop.
Phoebe. And Daniel's
No.
like, that's clearly not Phoebe because the lizard's gross. And I'm like, well, the birds are gross.
the squeaky dinosaur with the head fans, that's Phoebe. That gave me
Head
Phoebe
fans.
energy.
the one that kills,
The one that kills.
Nedry.
Yeah.
I was like, that's Phoebe.
I do
They
like
said
the,
that was a poisonous dinosaur, but it's a venomous dinosaur, right? Venom is injected, poison's consumed.
Ugh.
Or am I getting that
it
wrong?
Would be, you're correct. Venom is
Okay.
injected, but the dinosaur spits poison. So it would be a poisonous dinosaur.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Disregard.
Ooh.
My apologies.
Yeah, it's like Komodo
Never
dragons
thought about
are
that.
poisonous,
Yeah.
but vipers are venomous.
Yeah.
Poison dart
Also,
frogs
do y'all
can't
say
inject you, so-
dinosaur or dinosaur?
Dinosaur.
Sore.
SORE is how I
Okay.
pronounce it. Are you Sar?
Dinosaur.
I like I love
Dinosaur.
the sound of dinosaur is better, but I know dinosaur is right, so I try
No.
to hit the dinosaur. It's
how it's
AUR.
spelled.
Yeah, but it's not how it's said.
Saurus, not Saurus.
Brontosaurus. I do
Brontosaurus.
say Saurus.
Brontos-
Saurus sounds better. Like it seems like that's the way it should be
Wait,
said.
say
but
dinosaur.
Dinosaur.
No.
I try to do a middle
No.
ground.
That sounds like
an Australian
dinosaur.
who-
You know what?
Dinosaur.
This is one of those Carl things where I'll never do it, but I like that he does it.
I don't have to say dinosaur that much,
See?
so it never really comes up. But I'm thinking about it now.
You are
Like-
yeah, it's like you're manually
Also-
breathing the word
Yeah.
dinosaur.
Dinosaur. Like it's so. It sounds so bad, but it's right. I think. But yeah,
Shit. I'm joking.
I won't die on that hill, Lou.
Now-
Like, it's
What I'm about to explain, show don't tell, is not the proper use, but I couldn't kind of find the device of what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to use an analog for a movie I haven't seen, but one that we're going to watch in 2 weeks. In the cow eating scene, they lower the cow down. Mm-hmm. We don't really know what kind of dinosaurs are down there. I guess we assume velociraptors, I think, makes the most sense there.
Yeah, I
thought
think
so,
they
yeah.
saved.
I think maybe
it
they
looks like
say
the
it.
same cage.
Once again, I was writing. That's my excuse forever now, as I was writing notes, and it caused me to miss the movie. Suck my ass. I
are you
like
gonna
that
do?
they don't show us the velociraptors eating the cow, they show us trees violently rustling, and we hear dinosaur sounds. It's like the Jaws thing. It's also like Alien. They let us be afraid
Please
of the
tell
thing.
me there's going to be a shark in Jaws.
What do you think
What?
it's called? Yeah, there's a shark
Like-
in Jaws.
I'm just saying, like, visible.
No, there is, but
Okay.
because it's an animatronic shark, and it didn't like it. You can buy it, but I believe it was tied to production, but maybe not, because Alien does the same thing, and they let you be scared by the thing by not showing it to you. They
I got you.
imply it. You see the
Yeah.
fin,
Let your imagination
you
run.
hear the alien, you see it dart, but you don't get the full picture of the thing. Like, they let you sit in your discomfort for the unknown of what's out there, and they do the same thing with the plant wrestling when they feed the velociraptors, the cow in this movie, and I really liked that.
I like that you drew that conclusion of why they did that. I thought it was like budget. It's just easier to have a guy shake a tree.
It very well could have been. But
Or rating, maybe it's more violent.
it also, once again, it saves us the visual terror of not just the velociraptors, but all of the carnivorous dinosaurs for later, once the tropical storm makes
True.
it be instantly dark,
Yeah.
hilariously. I do like that Malcolm is the most eccentric actor and character, and the sole voice of reason. Hammond says at one point, "I don't think you're giving us our due credit. Our scientists have done things which nobody has ever done before." And Malcolm says, yeah, but your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could that they didn't stop to think if they should, which I wrote down at this point in my notes, and I changed my mind later, is my favorite line in the movie. I have a different favorite line, but that one's great. So preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should. I think that's very poignant. And then he later doubles down in more passion and says, "What you call discovery, I call the rape of the natural world," which is very just.
You're right. He
it's-
did have great lines.
It's indicative. Like, for me, Malcolm is my favorite character that's not a dinosaur in the movie. Not just because it's Jeff Goldblum, but because he's just great.
He's the voice of reason.
He's the
Yeah,
voice
he's
of
the
reason.
emotional
He's a
core.
chaotic theory mathematician. He's like, everything moves to chaos. Why aren't you listening to me?
He's also
Crazy people.
He's also our comic relief during the T-Rex scene.
Yeah.
Faster.
Must go faster.
Must
Yeah.
go faster. Must go
But
faster.
she says that in
Which-
Independence Day too. Oh,
Yes.
that was a reference
That's a
to
reference
this.
to Jurassic
Yeah.
Park. Nick mentioned that in the last episode. That's where I wrote my exposition. Dr. Grant hates kids. Ray Arnold. That's Sam Jackson's character. Says, "Hold on to your butts." Is his catchphrase. I really enjoy that. He says it twice in the movie. This is where I mentioned earlier, we have all the same problems, all the problems of a major theme park and a major zoo, and most of the computers aren't even online yet. So basically going, we're 40% ready, and we're already having all these issues, and we're about to way up.
You're going to bring people
We
here?
haven't brought people in yet. Yeah. it's
That's why I'm
wild.
like, this isn't, like, I just, no, insane.
And I
Too
liked-
dangerous, too much. No, never work. No insurance company would ever touch it with a 10-foot pole.
I liked the
No way.
characters of Ray Arnold and Nedry
Ray
together
Arnold.
because they Because they
Hey Arnold.
Gotcha.
I got it.
They they're both like different versions of classic IT guy behavior. One guy is stressed about all the problems, that would be Ray Arnold, and the other guy is making excuses for why the problems exist and can't be fixed this instant, either for legitimate reasons or because he can't be bothered.
It's pretty good.
That's
actually.
IT guys, man. And I love IT guys. I wanted to be one, and then I went to school for it for 5 minutes and went, nah. I was an impromptu one at Auto Customs.
That's
It was
true.
the worst.
Cameron
Did
really
we-
loves printers, is what I know.
No.
I don't know if in this movie they got to it, like why, like Newman's character, he does that deal. Do we know what they were gonna do with the embryos? Just open their own park? Was it like, is that ever discussed in 2 and 3?
I was going to say, is that in future movies?
I'm
I
not
don't
sure.
know.
This is where everyone jumps in our throats. And these guys didn't pay attention. I know
Listen,
Nedry's
they
in
just
it.
I
want to
don't
try to
think they
clone
did.
the dinosaurs themselves.
Right. That's kind of what I assumed.
But to
Maybe-
what end? I wonder. Like, is it just a competing park or
don't know if
like
it's world
military?
domination.
Because I know they got into
Who knows?
military in like the world movies, but I didn't know if that was a full continuation of like.
Well, but they
this.
never get the embryos because Nedry croaks. So
Right,
it
and
can't be a
there's only
direct
36-hour coolant. So,
I don't know what we do know is it's Nedry's motivation is obviously money. He argues with Hammond
I
about his
definitely
pay later.
thought that the that shaving cream can was coming back.
The Barbasol.
Like,
yeah.
I thought that was gonna get buried in the mud and come back and resurface in some way, but I guess not.
At least not in this film. I don't know if they MacGuffin that mug later down the line. But with
they
the 36-hour rule,
But I'm sure they could salvage something from it. Or
Yeah.
if they could get blood DNA from million-year-old mosquitoes.
I love that prop.
Or
and you can buy the Barbasol can.
that
that's
opens
With
up.
the
sick.
vials that opens up. It's like $400.
That was a really cool prop.
That's cool.
The little psst it made, I was like, that's sick.
I bet building that was fun.
Yeah.
I wonder how much of it too was just they needed his character to like set up that chain of events that happened
Well, they
whenever
did.
he left.
That's the story.
Yeah.
But giving him the outside motivation with the shaving cream scene earlier in the film kind of like goes, he's a weasel. And if you're going to cast a weasel in the 90s, you cast Wayne Knight.
Yeah.
Also, I don't want to set myself up for fire here, but how believable is it that they found 15 different salvageable embryo or like blood samples from mosquitoes from amber?
Well, we have
had
a lot
the
of
same thought.
we have a lot of bugs in amber. I don't think that's very far-fetched.
That's pretty common.
I think fairly so. I mean, you could buy some on eBay. It's that kind. Like they're not all museum pieces.
I figured it was like a very rare thing to be like, oh, we got a mosquito insect with blood in it, and it's a different species
Now,
this time.
I don't know about
Like,
the blood in it and the species lottery. Like that's perhaps, but at the end of the day, like,
Yeah. And I can suspend my belief
if that's
in it,
the
like,
one
it's-
thing that is,
Yeah.
Now, so
Me.
you had seen this movie once before,
I've seen it a few times.
a few times. But as we kind of go into
Yeah, we need to get rolling to the action.
the action part, I want to mention one more thing, which is the big pile of shit scene. And the chaos theory scene. It's just Malcolm being great. I just started writing all these things. The flirtatious with the glass of water
Yeah.
with the chaos theory, and then they both leave the thing to look at the Triceratops, and he goes, "See, I'm now by myself talking to myself. That is chaos theory." That's great. And then when
Good
the Triceratops is sick, and Ellie wants to see the dung to see if the Triceratops was
Yeah.
eating the berries, and I just love the pull out from the big pile of shit, and he rips his glasses off and goes, "That is one big pile of shit." Those glasses, by the way, that Jeff Brian Davis stole, he has those actual
No
glasses.
way.
Wow.
Those actual
Where,
ones.
he stole them from Goldblum or from like a prop
He
place?
stole them
What?
from the Universal lot. If they talk about it on Harmontown, I can't tell you which episode.
That is
Incredible.
awesome.
But let's go ahead and talk about shit hitting the fan. And I wanted to talk about you in specific because you were very stressed during this movie, especially for someone who's seen it multiple times.
I know who lives and I know who dies. I know exactly what happens, and I'm still
what I want.
freaking stressed
What I wanna
the whole
ask-
time.
What I want to ask is, because in many facets of life, you are not someone who enjoys pain.
No.
And I mean pain very lightly, very loosely. You don't like hot foods. You
No.
don't like particularly sour things.
No. I don't like playing
you-
sports because when the
don't-
balls hit you, it hurts.
Yep, you don't like that. you don't like many. I wager to say you like thrillers more than I do, because I have.
Yeah, but that's
really-
not saying a lot because it's you and you don't. Really
I have
don't
very,
like them.
very strong anxiety
Yeah.
issues that prevent me from enjoying them. Like my heart rate literally wants to kill me. Does it prevent you from enjoying Jurassic Park as a movie?
To a degree, yes.
To a degree. Okay.
I left this movie being like, I do not like it. I don't like it. I like it as a concept. It's a masterpiece. It's obviously like, 9, 10 out of 10 movie, but I'm like,
Okay, that was going to be my follow-up.
yeah, no, like it's a great movie, but like I personally am like, this is not a fun watch for me. It stresses me out. I don't know why. As soon as the Jeeps pull up, I'm like, oh God, here we go. And I'm like,
She was literally hands on face. And I'm like just sipping a whiskey and chilling because
now
I've seen it before.
it had been years. I feel like I haven't
10 years
seen
for me.
this, since maybe
Yeah.
high school or college or so. I
No,
don't.
we watched Jurassic World in your apartment.
Yeah, I remember watching Jurassic World when that
movie's
came out,
fine.
which also stressed me out a lot.
Yeah. Well, that one's got the added chaos factor of the park is full of people.
And it makes me really sad, like when the pterodactyls come and start snatching people. I hate it. It just makes
I couldn't
me
think
sad.
of the word pterodactyl 30 minutes ago. Now I feel
There you
stupid.
go. No, it's okay.
I said flying things.
Flying things, same difference. So I don't know. Like I just, as soon as everything happens, I'm like, get out of the car, stay in the car, turn off the light. Why aren't you turning off the light? Oh my God, what's the water?
still.
What's in the water?
Yeah.
Like
Don't
as
move.
soon as everything happens, I'm like, close the gate. Why didn't you close the gate? Why isn't like Newman
Why is he
closing the
leaving
gates?
the gates open?
Why is he
Yeah.
leaving the gates open? Like the whole. So
Why
that's
did
the
Malcolm
whole.
when-
Trying to play fetch with this murder
Well,
machine.
and the thing, the crazy
I
I
part
don't
of
have any
that
food
is
on me. Yeah, the food's in you.
Dr.
Like,
Grant with the T-Rex. Like Dr. Grant distracts it with the flare and throws it. The T-Rex buys that,
Buys
goes
it.
to leave,
And
and
then-
Malcolm's like, hey,
Yeah.
hold on. Ooh,
And I'm like,
But then it's like, dude.
Why?
Yeah.
Why are you doing that? So, but I don't know if this is a good time to ask this, but I wanted to ask you guys, like, what would you have done if you were in the Jeeps? Do you think you would have stayed in the Jeeps? Would you have run?
Important question to your question. Which Jeep am I in?
Yeah.
Am I with the lawyer and the kids, or am I with Dr. Grant?
Oh,
Because if I'm with Dr. Grant, and I've heard half a dozen times, they can't see you if you don't move, which, by the way, is not true. Apparently, T-Rexes have significantly better eyesight from what we originally thought 30 years ago. They're also probably feathered, and they didn't roar. They likely clucked.
that's
That's
a lot
even more
less.
horrifying.
What? Maybe it is.
I think that thing is clucking.
Oh, you can hear like models that we've built of what we think perhaps based on their skeletal structure and decades of research, what they sound like. It's way creepier than what we have in the movie. But if I'm with Dr. Grant, then I'm just going to go, okay, and I'm going to T-pose like a video game and just not move. If I'm with the kids, I'm probably going, hey, can you stop pointing a flashlight directly in the dinosaur's eyeballs
Yeah.
while you're trying to turn it off? Can you maybe, it's still on, point it down? I don't know. I don't know
I
what
guess
you're
like
doing.
not in the movie, but in your own personal situation. No movie characters are there.
I am getting
It's
me in a
it's
car by
us.
myself.
It's the four of us. What are we doing? Or what are we doing?
everyone shut up, telling everyone to shut up, and we're getting as low as we can in the car,
In the car.
and staying completely still.
Not me.
What are you doing?
I'm going. T-Rex can run at. They've clocked him at 32 miles an hour. This bitch can go 90. I'm flying.
You're driving?
Well-
I'm driving way out of it.
Well, I thought we were on the track car. We couldn't drive it.
I can drive backwards or forwards. I'm trying to get out. I'm gonna go down, not fighting, but I'm gonna go down fleeing. But I'm not leaving the car. I don't think I would leave the car. I'm not gonna be like insurance man that gets eaten on the toilet. But
Right.
I think I'd be too scared to move, honestly. So I think I
That's
would just
probably
be like
true.
petrified. I think
Yeah.
I'd be so scared that maybe I pass out. Like,
I feel like I would have
Which would probably be
started
the best thing.
walking. Like as soon as the car stops, this is pre T-Rex reveal, pre goat leg. I feel like as soon as the car stopped, but the lights are off, the storm is happening.
you're like, so it was that way.
I feel like I would have been like, I'm getting out of. I'm
5-minute
too
walk,
close
see
to
you guys
this
later.
fence. I
That's
feel like
true,
I would have
that's true.
started walking as soon as that car stopped.
Oh, you would get out and walk.
Yeah.
or at least perhaps
Which
leave
might
the-
have killed me, but like at that point, I don't know that the T-Rex is out. But if I'm gonna leave where the bait is, and I'm like,
or like get in a tree. or
yeah, I'm gonna
something.
Yeah.
leave my nice open space.
You're probably the
Once-
smartest.
we don't
of
know how
the
many
four of us.
dinosaurs are in the trees, though. We've
That's
only seen a few
true.
at this point. Like, they could be anywhere.
They could be anywhere.
When
From-
that
What we
most
know,
of them were herbivores.
what we know
though,
in the movie, the trees
That's
are
true.
safe, unless you're going to get sneezed on by a brachiosaur.
but I don't know.
when that girl
I have an
got
idea for a
into the
spin-off
like,
movie based on that.
into the tunnel, or not tunnel, it's like
You have like the water drain.
the water
The drainage pipe.
Yeah. I would have stayed there. I would have got as far as I can and just like, I think especially once they're out of the cars, I would have just found a spot and stayed there because there's all this land. The dinosaurs are going to be somewhere else.
I would have stayed in
hopefully.
that tree.
Just stay still, wait it out. That's what
Yeah.
I'm doing. Which is kind of what he does there with the kids. They climb up in
Yeah.
the tree and
So once
Go to sleep.
Once the T-Rex part, is that the worst part for you? The initial T-Rex part because it's so
Yeah.
chaotic. Or
It's so
or-
yeah, I think so.
That, versus
part.
like the Velociraptors in the kitchen.
I don't like the velociraptors in the kitchen either.
Yeah.
Or the sequence getting to the control room.
Yeah.
That part's rough. And then I also
Once
feel
the
bad.
Raptors are in there.
Once the
and
Raptors, we don't know where they are. We know they're
Arnold's
out.
dead. His arm. That's
Man,
the
that
scene
was a-
that
that was a
sticks
good
with
one.
me is the arm catching Ellie's shoulder, and she's like, "Oh, Mr. Arnold," and then nope.
He
and
gone.
whenever
Do y'all
she
think
runs
he's
out of
alive
the
and just has one less arm, or do you think
No,
he just
I
got
don't-
eaten except for his
Ooh.
arm?
Ooh.
What is it with Sam Jackson dying in movies with one arm? Mace Windu, this movie.
Yeah.
Did he have one arm and wait? I feel like he had a like small part in another movie where he got shot, but I don't remember.
I
what
think
movie it
Django,
was.
he got
Nick
pretty
Fury's
shot
got
up,
one
but-
eye.
he was
Nick
in
Fury.
he was the side character in Kill Bill, right?
That's what it was. Yes.
I don't know if he didn't have an arm, but he definitely
Yeah,
died.
but he got shot and died.
I
Sad.
don't
I,
know.
Remember
forgot
he was
Sam
in Kill
Jackson
Bill.
was in this movie.
He's in
Yeah,
everything.
you thought it was the second one. I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure.
Cameron mentioned Sam Jackson. I was like, he's not in this movie. What do you mean?
Can I talk before we get too far in? I want to mention one thing that I caught on Nedry's desk, which is one of the pictures he had taped to his monitors. You guys catch it?
I saw a person and had no idea who it was.
You didn't know who it was? It's Oppenheimer.
Oh,
Real life
The
Oppenheimer.
lady in the bikini.
yeah.
Not that one. So
I was like, who was it? Was
now,
that?
I don't know why. I drew a parallel, and I didn't look this up. If someone else has written this on the internet, I swear on my non-existent children that I didn't look this up. I sussed this out with my own little brain. Nedry has Oppenheimer taped to his monitor. I don't understand. Now, maybe I'm jumping to a conclusion because this doesn't really align with what we know of Nedry's philosophy. But Oppenheimer also created something that he didn't fully understand the dangers of out of his own hubris, and the results were also catastrophic. And it was the atomic bomb. And that's very similar to Hammond creating Jurassic Park out of his own hubris, and then it became disastrous, and he regretted the creation of it at the end.
It's a very if you could, but should you?
So I'm wondering
Well, yeah.
if that was Spielberg nodding to, and perhaps that's mentioned in the book that none of us have read.
True.
But I found Oppenheimer. Maybe I'm making something out of nothing there, but I feel like you don't put Oppenheimer there.
No, it's a
if
deliberate
if
choice for
you-
sure. Yeah. They're drawing that parallel.
I think you're right. I think it's probably Spielberg. It's definitely not. I don't think it makes sense for that character to have that there. Like
Not
if
that
he
character,
truly believes that of the guy who I can't think of his name, Hammond, then he would just not work there.
How do you feel about Nedry as a villain? Do you view him as the villain? Do you
I
view
don't.
him as an opportunist?
Oh, I do.
Opportunist
you-
for sure.
He
A little
breaks
bit of
all
a
the
sleaze.
systems.
He
But I don't think he envisioned anyone getting killed. I think he just thought he was gonna like kind of under the cover of night, shut down the system, grab the stuff, and go because he's not being paid enough.
yeah,
Which
he's got 20 minutes. He's going to do
He's,
it and
he's
be back.
definitely selfish. I don't think he's a good
Yeah.
person, but I
No.
don't think that you can pin everything wrong. He is certainly the first
Like-
domino, but I don't
Yeah.
think that you can go like he's not Hitler. Is what
He's
I'm saying.
more of a villain than just a
I wrote-
bystander, though.
he's the best villain we have in the movie.
Yeah.
I, think.
I kind of
Everyone
wrote
else is-
down that the
kinda
villains
redeemable.
in air quotes are a combination of Nedry's betrayal, Hammond's hubris. I'm not meaning to say that word a million times. And the tropical
storm.
that snowball. It's like
Yeah.
it's like Nedry pushes the snowball down the hill, but then it
Yeah.
becomes more of a thing because of the huge piles of snow that are the other plot points in the movie.
And like, why did he do it when they were doing their first tour sample? He couldn't have done it another night. Like, he could have done this any day.
Well,
and
he
did
was
it
trying
when
to get it
people
to
were
someone.
out on the track.
I don't know if there were time constraints. I don't really.
Yeah.
I was writing a lot of notes during the setup for Nedry's whole deal.
He
Like,
probably
yeah.
didn't
My-
have a lot of say in when. It was kind of just like now or never. You want the money or not, kind of thing.
My whole impression with him though was it was kind of like a side thing that was happening. Like it didn't feel directly related to the whole plot of the movie. I don't know.
On this note, do you view his death as like tragic or
No.
poetic justice?
Justice.
Yeah.
I
Kinda
kind
poetic
of I kind of
justice.
view it as that as well.
Yeah.
I think it's a little. I did like how they made sure to Velma him when he slips down the thing. They lose his glasses so that they can get venom in the eyes
Oh, right.
yeah.
or poison in the eyes, whatever,
Yeah.
what have you. I like that they made that point, and then he kind of gets away, and then there's one in the car. I just don't like thinking about him getting torn to shreds in the car. It's
Just
yucky,
don't think about it.
but I'm not gonna think
Don't
about it.
think about it.
And then that's the whole, it must go faster. Here it comes. Step on it. Fifth gear with
Fifth gear.
Malcolm trying to backseat drive. And then the famous Goldblum open shirt lounge scene.
Yes.
Just wow.
Iconic.
Danielle's not.
No, nothing.
For the
Didn't do it for
listeners,
me.
she's making an
Wow.
icky face.
It didn't do it for me. I don't know. I think it's the hair.
I wrote down it's the peak of male sex appeal.
Wait, the chest hair or this hair?
This hair, but I'm also not big into a lot of chest hair,
Yeah.
So, but the hair was very. No, he was in the middle of a
Which
storm.
is good because I'm like a cue ball. I have
great.
no body hair.
I love it.
Lots of this. I got it on my top of my
I don't
head.
know.
On my
I
upper
just-
lip.
Face.
Yeah, my face. Well, just up here. I can't grow a beard, you lucky bastards.
It'd be over for everyone.
Okay, I want to
Traded for real hair, I think.
I want to introduce
sure.
something that you brought up, and then I wrote down. But let me not steal your thunder
Ooh.
about the child actors.
Oh my gosh. I was just so impressed by just the fear, the genuine fear, the screams, just everything
It's a
felt
really
so
good horror film
believable.
scream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just
That when
did
she
a
sees the
great
T-Rex
job.
and lets it like, oh man, that was good.
She, in
Yeah.
particular, acts with her face quite well, or did. I also wrote that their chemistry with the adult cast, which is also
Very
to the
good.
credit of the adult actors. Like I think Sam Neill particularly is a hero.
Who's that?
That is Dr.
Grant.
Grant.
Okay.
Sam Neill's his real name. Real life person is what I almost said. The chemistry with Dr. Grant, like when the kids in the I think it's with the kid in the tree in the car, the Timmy, I think.
Tim.
Yeah,
Tim and Lex?
Lex, yeah. So when Tim is up in the car in the tree, and I believe he yells, or is it her? I can't remember. One of the two kids says he left us about the.
It's
The
the
girl
girl.
Says that. Yeah.
So it's when he tells her to get in the drainage
We
pipe.
all
Then
knew so quick.
he left us. She says about the lawyer guy that gets eaten in the porta potty, and he goes, "But I'm not going to."
No, he said, but that's
Yeah.
not what I'm going to do.
Thank you.
Because they're going through a divorce too, their parents, so it's kind of another layer
Oh,
there.
I missed
Oh, yeah.
that.
So his very.
Whoa.
And
That's why they're at the park, I think. Because why would you bring kids to an unfinished park? But I think he wanted to get them away from the divorce so they
Yeah.
could kind of have
Be
a
with
fun.
grandpa.
So let's give you
distraction.
some other
Yeah.
trauma
Yeah,
instead.
dinosaurs, come on. Yeah.
Hey, they ain't thinking
Island
about
and childhood
ain't thinking
trauma.
about mom and
They're
dad.
not thinking about the divorce.
Mission accomplished.
Maybe it'll bring the parents back together.
They get in the
Maybe.
helicopter and leave at the end. They're like, at least we get 2 Christmases. It's like,
We can get all the Jurassic Park merchandise.
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 But man, they did a great job, and it's also like kind of really not quite there. Actually, I'm gonna hold that thought for a minute. Anything else to say about the kids before I move on to another point?
No, we can
that is
move on to
much
another
more surface
point.
level. I want to talk about a gun.
Oh.
I like
The gun.
I like guns. I don't like guns like crazy right wing trash bags like guns. I appreciate them as machinery and as designs. I have a couple, but not like I don't have. You know what I mean? Whatever. I
You
just
don't
wanna-
have Trump's
I
name
I don't want to like
engraved
I
on
don't
the
want
barrel.
anybody to feel like I'm like jerking off assault rifles or anything here. But the Spaz 12. Danielle's her eyes are going to glaze, and I'm going to be quick about this. But I just wanted to mention that the Spaz 12 shotgun is one of my favorite shotguns, at least for how it is portrayed in media. It's in a bunch of movies. I wrote a couple down. Terminator, RoboCop, Jurassic Park, The Matrix. It's in video games like Call of Duty and Ghost Recon, and just a bunch. It's really the only gun we see. If you're not familiar with firearms, it's the main gun we see in the movie. I just think it's great. It's the epitome for me of action movie shotguns. It's if you see a shotgun, you're like, the Spaz 12. It's beautiful. I loved it in Call of Duty Black Ops. It was legendary in Modern Warfare 2. And all those movies, like I mentioned, it's just a hell of a thing. The Spaz 12, you look at it and it's menacing and boxy, and it's got those vent holes for coolant and the collapsible stock. It just looks a certain way, and you just think, man, 80s action, and it's sick.
Yeah.
I love it. And the stock
iconic.
ends up getting during the clever girl moment. Basically, long story short, Ellie and dollar store crocodile hunter go to turn the power back on, and he brings the Spaz 12. She's in doing the power on and learning that what's his face is dead, and runs out, and he is understandably being hunted. I think he makes that point to her, like, hey, we're not the hunters here, we're being hunted. If not in that moment, he makes that point earlier in the film. And there's one thing that they make a point that he folds the stock out of the Spaz 12, and that is absolutely what kills him, because he's got it shouldered, he's made the gun longer, and the Velociraptor's to his left. And when he does the clever girl line, because he's made it longer, he can't maneuver it quite to the dinosaur, and he gets eaten. And I'm like, you bastard, if you had left it, collapsed. I actually had forgotten about the nuances of that scene because it had been a decade since I've seen the movie.
Interesting.
But when he unfolded the stock, I was like, why, dude? Why are you doing
Also,
that?
really great payoff for the coming from the side with Grant
Yeah.
tormenting
and
that kid.
All the way
Yeah.
back to the beginning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all the way, man. It's
Nice
so
payoff.
good. And the clever girl line is just
Clever
I love
girl.
it.
Yeah.
I love it.
You can tell
boy,
she's
did
looking
I
at you,
not-
she's figuring stuff out.
Pay attention to that gun or any gun
Of course.
at all.
That's okay.
Okay, that's just my neuroses latching on to.
Like, if you were to ask me, did he have a gun in that scene? I'm not sure.
Nick is on his phone. He doesn't want to. Can I go back to Dr. Grant for a minute? Because I want to talk about to get the power back on, just to move things along here a bit.
Yeah.
Anything else we want to talk about with the nighttime scenes before I take us into kind of the third act?
You can take us into the third act.
I'll take us
Take us
so,
there, baby.
The electric fence scene. So we've got Grant and the two kids. Ellie is off
Oh, the electric fence.
The electric fence. So
Oh my god.
they do. I did notice the difference in voltage. So the voltage on the T-Rex fence is 20,000 volts, and the voltage on the fence that the kids climb are 10,000 volts. Still a shitload of voltage. For context, the dryer voltage, washing machines, and your stove is 240.
Got it.
So this is many, many times that powerful. Lightning strikes are 300 million on average. So people have survived getting struck by lightning, and it's totally plausible that the kid would live or be revived via chest compressions after being zapped with the electric fence. I relate to the stun lock of the kid being unable to get down as someone who has a crippling, harrowing fear of heights. I have had that reaction on short ladders. I've had that reaction on second-story balconies. I've had that reaction on double-decker buses. So I get it.
God.
I'm horrified of heights. I was just in a hospital a couple weeks ago, and of course it was the top floor, and I couldn't go near the window. There's a mall in Jacksonville that Danielle and I would frequent, and on the second story, it has like the middle cut out, so you could like look down, and light travels all the way from the skylights to the first floor. I have to walk against the storefronts. I can't be close, or I will get vertigo. I cannot look up at tall buildings, or I feel like I'm going to fall down. So I get it. I don't want to shit on the kid for getting stuck on the fence.
But it's still more stress. I'm still just like, let go of the fence, let go of the fence. This is
Like
gonna
if
cut
you
It's
know
okay.
the only other option is get shocked. Well, you gotta let go.
But he didn't know the timing. And like obviously the fence
Well, that's true.
The fence is beeping.
Yeah.
But why is the fence beeping? Everybody would know, oh, the power's coming back on. Do you know that if you're 8?
No,
10?
and that's why they don't tell him
fair.
that because they don't want to freak him out more. But they're
Yeah.
kind of like, okay, Timmy, like
point.
you got to like let go of the
And
fence.
didn't he
like, come on.
just fall too from the tree? So
Yes.
he's probably a little hesitant. He doesn't know what
Oh,
shocking
yeah.
is. He has
Yes.
like no frame of reference, but the other one's pretty fresh.
12
in his
hours
mind.
earlier, he just got punted by a T-Rex in a car off
yeah.
a dam.
Yeah,
Like,
give him a break.
He
having a
has
hard
been
day.
What a
traumatized.
night. Yeah.
so I
And
do
his parents
feel-
are getting divorced.
I do feel
Like,
like that scene though, with the chest compressions and all that, and the helping him down, that is, for my money, not that he doesn't come to this conclusion earlier. I feel like there's an argument to be made that his redemption arc, not redemption, but his coming around to kids happens with the tree and with the brontosauruses and whatnot. But for me, the reaction when Timmy comes back and he's got all the kids and he's gotten them into the fence, that's when Dr. Grant goes from kid hater to like pseudo dad. That's
Yeah.
when his transformation, his metamorphosis, if you will,
He
is
goes
kind
from
of
scaring
complete.
them to caring them.
Yeah. I mentioned
Nice.
that the "Oh, Mr. Arnold" with the severed arm is my enduring memory of the film. The clever girl thing. Grant, I love the line that Grant has when he gets on the phone and calls the bunker. He just goes, "Mr. Hammond, the phones are working." Because, like, duh.
Yeah.
But then also tell them to send the damn helicopters. Is very cool. And then, we have the whole velociraptors in the kitchen thing. I do like how the velociraptor goes to attack the girl, Lex. I think you said her name is, and it hits the reflection. I think that's cool.
My
I
mom.
do have a problem. They opened the door.
Yeah.
The Raptors. That's a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
Little hands.
Yeah, but yeah, I
They-
did see a video that said they couldn't rotate their wrists, so there's no way that they could actually
Well,
do
I mean,
it.
if it was just down.
Who among us hasn't
Yeah.
slapped one of those style doors and just like pulled it open?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It just seemed like such a.
It's-
And then it's
I
not
mean,
like they
such
just
a
walked
goofy-
straight in. Like they
Yeah,
opened it and then kind of nudged it for a little bit.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know.
It was
that
ridiculous.
was like the
though.
only thing that I was like, okay, that's maybe a little too far, but everything else I was like, okay, yeah.
yeah.
I wonder if they were going at the angle because they talk about how they attack different parts of the fence because the dinosaurs learn the weak spots of the fence. I wonder if it's like we've seen humans do this, so
Yeah.
we're going to use our
We're
hands
gonna do
here.
it.
Maybe, yeah.
I mentioned
That's such an intelligent behavior for a lizard. Like, it's like, I
I
don't
mentioned
know.
earlier that I had a Malcolm one that I said was my favorite, and then had another one later. My other one later is when Malcolm. I don't quite remember when this is in the movie. It is clearly after all the shit has hit the fan, and Malcolm says, "I hate being right all the time." How often do I say that?
All the time.
Yeah.
All constantly.
It's not because of this
Every day.
movie, but I maybe this is me tooting my own horn.
Your own hubris.
Sure. It's everyone's gonna be like, he learned a new word, but no, it just applies in this movie a lot. I see myself in Dr. Malcolm quite a bit. identify with him as a character. Maybe that's why most of the quotes written down in my phone are from Dr. Malcolm, but I really appreciate him as a character. The T-Rex, in both this movie and in Jurassic World, low-key kind of a hero at the end. He fights off the Velociraptors in Jurassic World. He fights off the crazy Giga dinosaur that they build. I like that they make objectively the coolest dinosaur on Earth. Not objectively, but he's my favorite. The kind of like they give him his
even the
desserts,
music.
yeah.
The music whenever he attacks the smaller one that I don't know the name of was like
Raptor?
triumphant.
All we're missing is for his little arms to give them a little thumbs up as he's
His little arms.
Do we
did
really
look
believe
comical.
those little arms? Come on. There's
They're-
no way.
What?
When he walks over the fence, I was like, those are some pretty small arms.
We have the
There's-
skeletons, guys. I don't know what
That
you
I
want.
know, but
Yeah,
they
this
just
is-
look
I just-
funny.
Let's not.
It looks,
let's
that's
not
not
Joe
a good
Rogan
design.
T-Rexes
We
right
can
now.
make
I don't even
raptors.
know what that means.
We
Like,
can make raptors 10 feet. We can't make the arms a little bit more. Like
yeah, give them a little more
What do you want
arms.
them to have human
Can't-
arms?
yeah, like
that.
With biceps?
Yeah.
Just give them a little more to use. Like
big head and little one.
it just looks preposterous. I'm sure that's what it was,
Well,
but it's
yeah.
like they're like, it's so
So
ridiculous.
one of the evolutionary theories as to why they have short arms is they were a weakness in combat. Like when they were fighting other T-Rexes, they just got bit off often. So the T-Rexes that survived more often were the ones with shorter arms. So through breeding, they just had shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter arms. That can happen in biology. Dominant traits take over and survival of the fittest and whatnot if you have longer arms, and they kept getting bit off and then you bleed out. If you have shorter arms, it's less dangerous. That's one of the theories. I'm sure there are more, and our knowledge of dinosaurs is changing constantly. Like we know likely that T-Rex had plumage because they're so close to birds and such.
I heard that they didn't because of their size too, though. So who knows?
Who knows?
But,
We
like,
don't know. Like,
Yeah.
But
And even like the way they shrink wrap their skin, like I saw one that had like a penguin. If we did the same way, it would look ridiculous. And it's like
And a
what if
whale?
Yeah, it's like what if Brachiosaurus was actually like a thick boy, like just
Yeah.
covered in feathers? Like it'd be
Thick boy.
ridiculous.
I do like that. I feel like in the last 10 years or so, more like a lot of our opinions in information about dinosaurs is evolving and changing. And I like to kind of keep tabs on it because I've loved dinosaurs since I was a kid. I loved the old Discovery Channel, like CGI. I remember watching those when I was like 4.
And plus, they're using frog DNA too, so these aren't even real dinosaurs. They're kind of like a hybrid anyway. So it
Yeah.
could be kind of a
But frogs are cool.
you know, yeah, frogs are great.
Frogger, it's a good video game.
Frogs can change their gender,
classic.
so then you get male dinosaurs, and then they breed.
Yeah, I liked how they kind of explained that too, like how the life found a way. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Life finds a way. To wrap things up, kind of, Grant, I loved the not the Mr. Hammond, the phones are working, but the after careful consideration, I've decided not to endorse your park. And Hammond
Yeah,
goes,
that was a good one.
Hammond goes, so have I,
Yeah.
which completes his turn because
Nice.
with the ice cream scene, he's not fully out yet, and then he is. That's kind of all of my notes. I don't know if you guys have any
I do
final
have a
thoughts
question for you
or
guys.
questions.
It's not really explicitly stated, but do you ship Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler?
Sure. I feel like that's kind of the direction the movie's pushing us, so I'll go along with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
They both
I-
seem relatively into one another, I guess. It's not a one-sided deal. And they have the whole Grant, he's stoic. He's a man, so he's not overtly emotional, but they have the whole pseudo confrontation with Malcolm about Ellie. And, I can be another ex Miss Malcolm.
Occasionally married. Yeah.
I liked that, yeah.
Yeah, because they kind of remind me of a little bit, like I've been watching X-Files, and they kind of have a Scully Mulder, like kind of professional relationship, but there's kind of an endearing care there, but that's not really romanticized.
You are talking
But-
to 3 people who have never seen X-Files.
I know.
Hey, join the
Second
Discord if you've
question,
seen
do you like
X-Files.
my Ellie Sattler?
Oh, that's why.
When we got on and you were in colors, I was like, I like it, but I didn't
Yeah.
know why.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, I could actually pull this off.
That's good.
Way
I
to
like
bury
it.
that
my
lead.
my
for
very
it.
convenient cosplay, yeah.
Way to
Well, I wanted
bury-
to see if you guys picked up on it.
75 minutes we sat here and didn't notice it.
Oh, God.
Wow. They don't actually like
Third question, how did they clone the plants? Because you can't get blood from plants.
Shit.
But that was one that I was like, I'll let that go.
Science, you know?
Yeah, science. We don't. It doesn't.
Science
whatever.
will make a way.
There was only
Don't
one
think about
other
it.
little plot hole where like at the T-Rex pit, it like he walks out or she walks out, and then it's like a huge drop, and that's the only other kind of discrepancy I kind of saw.
I wasn't
What's wrong with that?
sure about that.
'Cause she
he's
walks
saying-
out.
He's saying the T-Rex goes right through the fence, right? Into where the Jeeps are, but then the cars fall.
Yeah.
Yeah, they fall. So, and I don't remember them moving too far. Like they spun the car around a little bit, but it didn't move. But like I was like, whatever, it's more dramatic.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
kind of willing to have
I'm not.
a
I'm
That's
not
a good
nitpicking
point,
this movie.
though.
It is a good
Yeah.
point, but I'm willing to have a pretty
Maybe
long
he
leash.
jumped.
Like a frog.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's like, he walked and then 5 feet
You
to
saw
the
those
right,
legs?
there's the drop off.
Yeah.
I'm unsure
He
about
certainly
that.
didn't climb with those arms.
No.
Just
Who knows
biting
how
his
far
way
he
up.
threw that car?
Maybe he gets to stand on his tail like a kangaroo.
Oh.
That
Oh my
actually
God.
would be really interesting.
what?
Plateau himself up onto
You
it.
know
be
what
terrifying.
that sentence has just reminded me of for some reason?
No idea.
Is the early 2000s film Kangaroo Jack.
Oh God.
Oh man.
I never saw that.
I remember
Who
liking
was
it when
the
I was
lead
8.
Uh,
in that?
Oh God, the kangaroo.
The king.
Yeah, pretty much.
I can
yeah.
picture him in my head, but I don't want to guess a name because
Man, I saw a video
In my head, it's Owen Wilson.
of a
No.
baby kangaroo.
brown-haired guy that was in a lot of stuff in like the early 2000s.
Anthony Anderson's in it and Jerry O'Connell. Christopher Walken's apparently in it. Michael Shannon.
Christopher Walken.
Man, what a cast! Yeah.
should we do a quick hot point?
Yeah,
Yeah.
please.
Unless
One
there's
point.
anything else.
Let's
No,
do
there's a few
single
hot points. There's a few hot points. I have done both Alan and Malcolm, and
Okay.
then a dishonor to the lawyer. The lawyer gets negative 1,000 hot points for those shorts and the loafers with no socks. Not hot.
You were mad about his hairy legs.
Like, those shorts were so 90s. They were so puffy. Like, the other men in the movie were in shorts and they looked fine. He, no, did not look fine. Negative 1,000. And it's, wear socks. Wear socks. I don't like, all I can think about how gross and sweaty. Ugh.
Can I
Should
say, can I
Getting
say
beyond
something that
myself.
makes me a bad person?
What?
For men, I don't think you should wear shorts in public. I don't like it. I don't like seeing it. I hate doing it. I feel like in public, shorts are a house thing. And whenever I, like even in the bathing suit the other day, we were at a pool and I was like, I don't like having my legs not covered. I feel like men should wear pants. Anyway, that's me being from the 1970s. Go ahead.
That's okay. You can feel that way. All right.
I'm aware that it's a bad position, but I don't.
It's hot outside.
Every time
you know?
I see man legs, I'm just like, you should be in pants. I don't care that it's hot. It's 106 degrees outside today. I was in jeans. I
Can't
wasn't
relate.
because I was at my house.
I wasn't.
In pants right now on camera.
All right,
Yeah, I'm
well,
always
moving
in
on
jeans.
to hot points. Alan got a +1 for staring down the T-Rex. That was pretty that was brave. That was bold. He
Yeah.
grabbed Lex and was just like, "Don't move. Just right eye contact with the T-Rex."
Their visual acuity is based on movement.
Hot, brave. And then I gave him another +1 for his, but that's not what I'm going to do. Because again, he's taking care. He's being a leader. He's being
Yeah.
brave.
Yeah.
So that brings us to a 7 for him.
Not bad.
You know, that's not bad for a
Yeah.
man of his physique and physical
Yeah.
appearance. Like, he's very much, he gives me dad vibes.
Yeah.
Not hot guy vibes, but 7
Big
out of
da-
10. That's
you feel safe with
that's-
him. He'd give you a good hug.
it's perhaps a Herculean score for a dad.
Yeah. It's of the dad characters, that's done pretty well.
Sorry, dads, we're not into you, but we're
Sorry.
still young. So,
Yeah.
Maybe
But give
later.
us a couple years and maybe I'll change my mind.
yeah.
And then Malcolm, I find him more hot in Independence Day than I find him here.
I think I buy
which
that.
is maybe the wrong opinion.
I want to have a beer with Malcolm. I think Malcolm's hilarious, but I don't think he's hot.
He's not hot.
Apart from the open shirt scene, that's hilarious.
But
It's hilarious. I don't know if it's like, doesn't make my
I mean,
tackle
the scene
hard.
opens just like a full frontal shot.
full
of him,
frontal. Why is he laying like that? What is he doing? Why?
He knows.
Lying
He
in
knows.
repose.
Like he's
chilling.
like he's in danger. He's bleeding and his leg hurts, and he's just like, I'm posting up like this.
He didn't want to be flat on his
Yeah.
back.
But I did give him a +1 for being right, like just for being right. The intelligence,
So he's
the
good to-
passion with which he was arguing his case. He got a +1, so that brings us to a 6 for him.
So a 7 and a 6. I think
7
that's
and a
golf
6.
clap worthy. We'll give him golf claps. Minor hotness. The quietest
Minor
sound effect
hotness.
I have on my board. Sorry, everybody. All right. Hit or miss time. And then it's time to get along because this is kind of a longer one on accident. So,
Oopsies.
whoops. I'll go first. You were going to
first.
talk.
I was just going to go ahead and go, but you go first.
I'm going to go first. This is a hit for me. I love this movie. I love dinosaurs. It's a perfect dinosaur movie, I think. Apart from Land Before Time. I'm just kidding. No, I love it. I think it's great. I don't think it's too spoopy. I think the thrill scenes are thrilling without making my blood pressure go through the roof. I love the Malcolm character. I think Grant has a great character arc. I think Hammond also has a great character arc. I think Nedry is a wonderful villain. Sam Jackson's character plays a great role. I can't really find anything wrong with the movie except for picking apart the science, but like, I don't think that that's worth doing necessarily.
Nah.
And I'm someone who likes to pick apart things. So it's a hit for me. I would give it, I mean, is it a 10 out of 10 movie? I don't know, but it's not anything lower than a 9. That's for damn sure in my mind. So, Nick, you can go next.
It's definitely a hit for me. I don't have as many words to say other than +1 on everything you just said.
I say lot word when few word do.
Yeah, exactly.
Carl, I'm only
Yeah.
making you last because we kind of went over this earlier. Go ahead.
Yeah, so this is my first time actually watching this all the way through,
yeah.
and I was very concerned that I was going to have kind of a Back to the Future situation where, like, I know it's
didn't
supposed
like
to be
it,
like
yeah.
not like it didn't land for me, but this was like really great. And I thought, there's a lot of characters, and they kind of are all introduced very well, and you kind of understand their motivations and everything. This is the first time I've seen a movie that had its own merchandising in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was kind of that's interesting. I thought the graphics held up, the story's great. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, I think I'll probably watch it again. Maybe I'll go through the other movies and see what they're about, but I don't know if I want to tarnish this one. But yeah, hit.
They're bad, but it's,
Yeah.
if you want more, I think the second one's like okay. I think the
Yeah.
third one's
Oh,
a piece of shit.
if I can take a couple more minutes, I thought they keep going further in the future with this movie franchise. What I want to see is go back and do a pre-boot and show what's his name opening up the flea circus. Show what started everything.
I'm
We keep
sure
going
there's
bigger. We need to go
go
small.
smaller. I'm sure there's a
then the
script for
other-
that somewhere.
Yeah. The other idea I had was, what if instead of like an avian flu, what if there was a dinosaur flu? So people going to the
Yeah.
park get sick, and then it makes like a kind of a zombie apocalypse kind of thing.
I think
know.
another.
because they haven't really done that angle yet. I
I
don't
think another cool one would be like a scientist go to a remote island and somehow there's a couple velociraptors that haven't been extinct yet. Something like that. So we have like a predator kind of situation and they have to get off the island. Like maybe bring back a tropical storm that gets them stuck there. That could be cool. Like,
there is a video game coming out that it's like a survival game.
oh, cool.
Yeah. I don't know when it's coming out, but it should be soon.
But yeah, that's
I just saw a
that's
trailer for it.
something else. Like if we're gonna go back, like stop making Jurassic World. Stop it. And although I think there's another one in the works, and I think Scarlett Johansson's the lead.
What?
And I think
I'll
she's
give
like,
it a shot.
I think she's super stoked for it. She was like, I've always wanted to be in this. But I could be wrong.
Oh, nice.
Fact check that. But I believe I read something about that.
Go
recently.
off, Scarlett Johansson.
Can you give us your hit, mid, or miss, please? Given your displeasure for the thrillery side of the film.
I'll still give it a hit because it's clearly a hit, you know?
Yeah, it's a good movie.
I wonder if some of my problems with it is because I feel like this was probably one of the first scarier movies that I saw.
So there's childhood.
So there may be some
trauma.
childhood trauma attached to it.
Trauma is probably a strong word to use for a film like this.
But it didn't traumatize me as much as Twister did, I'll say that.
Wow.
But,
Yeah, so we'll watch Twister next week.
nope. I'm not watching Twister ever again.
What we are going to watch next week, though, is Men in Black. I'm
excited.
Pretty excited. So I have seen 20 minutes of this movie.
I haven't seen
That's
any.
it. I know nothing about it. Basically, I know nothing about
Will
the sequel.
Smith's in it. They
Things
wear
I-
sunglasses.
Things I know about Men in Black
Glass-
are as follows. Will Smith's in it. Tommy Lee Jones is in it. There's a pen that deletes your memory. That's it.
Wow.
That's all I know. You haven't seen it either,
No.
Danielle, right?
I
Carl,
hope it
I
holds
assume
up.
you've seen it. Nick, I assume you've seen it. I know there was one within the last 10 years.
Do you say I think it holds up?
Said I hope it holds
Hope
up.
it holds up. There was a remake with Chris Hemsworth fairly recently.
I think fondly upon this movie. So
Gross.
But I haven't seen it since I was like 10.
Yeah, I caught like 20 minutes of it on TV once, and my dad was like, "Great movie." So
We'll find out. We'll be the judge of that.
we will find out, and that will continue our loosely creaturey month. So yeah, dude, freaking from Jurassic Park to Men in Black, and from Jeff Goldblum to Will Smith.
to
We're
Will
just
Smith.
tying everything back into Independence Day, a movie that we thought was fine. So, hey, We'll catch y'all on the next one. We're gonna watch Men in Black, and yeah,
Yeah.
have a good one.